The adjudicator Robin Jackman between the two captains, Mike Gatting and Imran Khan. Gatting got it, and he'll have had a very, very happy week, a happier one than seemed possible early in this match. The opening day of the final Cornhill Test match at the Oval. Welcome to the highlights, and it's a Test match England have to win if they want to square the series with Pakistan. Pakistan say they want to win, but we know that they too can be quite happy with a draw. The teams, well, there's something unusual about the two sides as they were listed at the toss, because there were two spinners in each of those lineups. For England, Edmonds and Embury, and for Pakistan, Tosif Ahmed and Abdul Qadir. A full complement of pace bowlers as well. Each side is strong in batting. The umpires, both of them under a considerable amount of pressure because of certain happenings from the Pakistan camp, David Constant and Ken Palmer. Well, Pakistan won the toss, a very good toss it was too. They elected to bat in conditions that were just about perfect. The pitch looked to be an absolute belter. Here's the third ball of the day now. Graham Dilley is the bowler, and MUDASSAR NAZAR is taking strike. And first blood to Pakistan. The outfield is quick. He didn't quite time that. And 4 runs on the board. Now from the pavilion end, it's Neil Foster bowling to Ramiz Raja. Well, he too is off the mark with a boundary, but with nowhere near the amount of sureness of MUDASSAR NAZAR.
Well, remarkable shot this. Well outside the off stump and swinging away, and he's trying to paddle it over mid-wicket.
That's a better looking stroke. We'll race away down that slope there towards the right-hand side of the ground as we look at it from the pavilion.
Good delivery there from Graham Dilley. I think he learnt from the previous over that Ramiz Raja is going to have a go at the short one.
There's a problem here with the ball. Looks as though a hunk has been taken out of it from that last stroke. Oh, yes, you can see it standing up there. A feeling that might have come off his helmet. That might have taken the piece out of the ball. May have been the shoulder of the bat. Yes, it looked to me as though it hit the peak of the helmet, and that has caused the damage. That's the damaged one going back in. David Constant says he'd prefer a round one.
The ball hasn't swung very much. There's a chunk being taken out of the old one, and now this one must be very new. We might see it swing.
They've tested Ramiz Raja with the bouncer twice this morning. And he didn't handle it too well, but he cut that one away okay. Ian Botham is to come on from the pavilion end. It's a good move just to see if there is going to be any swing.
Tremendous record there. The world's leading Test wicket taker.
And he's added one to it. Well, that's a good move from Mike Gatting. Wasn't that Foster was bowling badly, but it was just the change might have broken through, and that's the way it turned out.
Yes, this one just drifting away, actually, holding its own. The previous two deliveries had swung in a little bit. and Rami's playing all the way around that. He should have been playing that at mid-off, and he was aiming at mid-wicket. Very good piece of bowling by Miandad.
Mansur Akhtar is by far the leading Pakistan batsman of the summer. He's had a marvellous summer, 13 matches, and he's got 1,151 runs, an average of 57.55, 400s, 550s. He's scored probably twice as many runs as the nearest Pakistan batsman.
Bowled. Beautiful last delivery. We were talking about that little bit of movement away. Well, it certainly happened there.
Pakistan now moving on to 41 for 1. 12 overs gone. Well, again, no third man on, and Mansur driving at that, getting a semi-edge, but on the floor, no chance, and 4 runs to third man again.
Yes, the encouraging thing from an England point of view is that ball's just started to swing a little bit for Graham Dilley. Very thick outside edge and went straight along the ground.
Yes, a bit of outswing there again, and playing forward, just a thin outside edge. Bit of disreward there from Graham Dilley. He's certainly got the ball to move away. That may have been just a little bit wide, but still a pretty good delivery.
That's quite wide outside the off stump, and really speaking, he got his foot there after the ball had gone by. Quite a thick outside edge, and Bruce French taking that in front of John Embry. Very good wicket for Graham Dilley.
And England settling down a bit now after a bit of slack start, getting those 2 wickets, and after what was a very good start for Pakistan, the pressure's now back on them.
And this man taking strike now is probably the most prized batsman in Pakistan at the moment. He's a magnificent player, and I'm sure England will be looking to get rid of him as early as possible.
A slight delay there. A pigeon just went straight across the middle there. Could well have got that if he released the ball. But he's probably just had his ankle a bit pulling up there in mid-stride. And that could be a bit of a blow for England.
Ian Botham to continue what's been an excellent spell so far. And really the honours in the first hour to England.
Fine stroke this time. Not really leaning to that on his front foot, but he's a little bit with the weight on the back foot, but still managing to keep it down.
And that takes JAVED Miandad to 6,000 runs in Test cricket, and what a great stroke to do it with.
Oh, he's gone for the hook shot, and just dropping short there of Neil Foster. Couldn't control that. He had to pull it from outside off stump there, and JAVED was caught in no man's land there, but luckily it didn't carry down to fine leg.
Just about a yard short of getting there to make what would have then been a much more comfortable catch. Great effort for a bowler to come in and throw himself forward. Just about got his hands to it on Yorker length.
Going to be a change of bowling at the pavilion end. Mike Gatting going to try a spinner. John Embry. That's probably quite good tactics because there's bound to be some damp in that wicket.
Foster's been brought in close there to save the single.
Well, perfect sweep. picked up the line quickly. We see that drifting down leg side. See how he hits down on it, rolls the wrists over. Not the slightest risk in the shot, and 4 good runs.
Phil Edmonds. Just 10 minutes to go to the luncheon interval. Beautifully hit. The footwork was good too.
And JAVED very keen to get after the spinners. Beautifully down the wicket. Perfectly safe shot. No one in the outfield.
Beautiful stroke from JAVED Miandad. And not the first one played by the right-hander in that period before lunch. 4 more runs added to take Pakistan's score up to 95 for 2. And in the course of that, the 50 partnership came up as well between NAZAR and JAVED Miandad. A very good effort for Pakistan. England got through twice, once Delhi, once Botham. But it looked as though once the pitch settled down, a little bit of bounce there early on, once it settled down, it was going to be a very, very good batting strip. Embury got some spin before lunch. Whether that would happen after lunch, though, is an entirely different matter, because sometimes there's a bit of moisture just under the surface. 7 overs, 2 maidens, no wicket for 12 for him, and Edmonds was hit down the ground twice by JAVED Miandad. We pick play up now after lunch with 4 runs added. MUDASSAR NAZAR has moved along to 49. John Embury is the bowler.
It's 50 for MUDASSAR, so he's having a very good series, both batting and bowling. Chance there. Certainly Graham Dilley getting that one to move away to MUDASSAR, and the ball going between Bruce French and Embury at first slip.
Fine delivery from Dilley.
Looks like Neil Ratford's having to come on to stay for a while this time. Graham Dilley looks like he's leaving the field.
It may well be the ball that he pulled up for when that pigeon flew straight across the batsman.
John Embury just straying a bit on line this over, one down the leg side, one wide of the offside, and pretty quick to get onto that there. 4 more runs. And the news on Graham Dilley is that he is having an ankle strapped, which possibly was when they had to pull up very quickly when the pigeon flew across the wicket early on. Ian Botham's going to have a ball from the Vauxhall end, ball from the Pavilion end early this morning. Ian Botham just over pitching, and that's just pushing it away nicely. No real power, just steered through the cover area. 2 runs.
Well, Botham was giving the batsman a long, hard look, and I suspect his skipper as well. Neither would blame. It was just that it was a ball well wide of the stumps that gave the batsman the scope for the stroke. 100 partnership up in 203 balls faced. Gone, well bowled. MUDASSAR 73 to follow his century in the Edgbaston Test. But an excellent piece of bowling on a pitch that's in favour of the batsman.
see this just outside off stump, straightening, getting the edge. Nicely taken at slip there by Moxon.
Salim Malik. 148 for 3 now. Foster from the pavilion end. You wouldn't actually say that Dilly, who has been off the field for treatment, was putting in the big ones round the boundary there. 150 is up for Pakistan now. The last 50 from only 79 deliveries. Oh, that's close.
Yes, useful delivery, just swinging in a little and possibly just missing the leg stump. But a fair shout.
Wasn't he beautifully over the ball there with that roll of the wrists?
Doesn't look very happy at all, because Neil Foster appeared to be feeling his back a little. In fact, he's so unhappy, I think he's leaving the field. And Foster having left the field, Mike Gatting has turned to Phil Edmonds to bowl from the pavilion end here.
Well, that's the first one that Phil Edmonds has nearly got to bite. A little bit wide of off stump, but that certainly turned and lifted.
And the end of a very, very good over. Phil Edmonds getting everyone on the front foot, and that turned, bounced, superb delivery.
Change of bowling again at the Vauxhall end. John Embry's going to try his luck at that end. And then trying to overcorrect it, which he did before, bowls it too wide of the off stump. And Javed very quick to get onto that, and that's 4 runs past David Gower at cover.
Well, the 50 partnership coming up, and that's a short delivery, which, again, nothing risky at all from Miandad. Quite happy just to play it down for 1 rather than risk the big hit on this very, very big ground.
.200 up for Pakistan. In the 66th over.
Once again, having said Edmonds has not been short, he's given Javed the chance to cut now on 3 occasions. .99 for Javed Miandad. Lovely shot. That's as good as anything he's played today.
Short again. Not great bowling from Philip Edmonds, but beautifully played.
Now the field is just closing in a little, just to make sure they can cut off the push for the single. Both these men are quick between the wickets. And there it is. 100 for JAVED Miandad. A very good innings, no chances. His first 100 against England. Fielded. Brilliantly done by Edmonds. JAVED has gone past the 6,000 run mark. That list involves those who've made 5,000 test match runs at an average of over 50. JAVED's the only player in this game here at the Oval to have an average above the 50 mark.
Again, Phil Edmonds just pitching a little on the short side, and both these players are pretty quick to get on the back foot and cut it away square on the offside.
It's the 100 partnership. It's come off 230 balls. Mark Gatting's now decided to take that new ball. Graham Dilley to operate with it from the Vauxhall end.
Well, that's unlucky for Graham Dilley. He got that one to bounce a bit and just run away, and they've had 3 slips most of the day, and if there'd been a 3rd slip there, it would have been straight in.
Yes, it was the bounce that did him.
With Neil Foster off the field, Ian Botham having to take the new ball. He's bowling to Salem Malik. And straight away, a long hop. That wasn't a bouncer, it was just a short ball, and pulled away to square leg for 4 runs. Well, that was a great delivery, nipping back and going straight through between bat and pad.
Well, whatever that missed, it wasn't by much, because it's nipped back just past off stump and the inside edge, and how unlucky there. One of the best balls of the day, really. Seaming back from outside off stump. We'll see that. Just going past the top corner of off stump. Fortunate to escape on 2 counts.
Well, a bit uppish, but wide of Phil Edmonds in the gully, no 3rd man on, so that's 4 more to Miandad.
Well, he's not going to sleep there. Absolutely keyed up to make sure that he's, if possible, he can still be there at close of play and start all over again tomorrow. And his 1500s there. Well, he's had 2 doubles and 3 doubles and several very big ones, and there's no end to the man.
Oh, and that's a miss-hit shot, but it's gone safe again, and it's 4 more runs. So no luck for Graham Dilley in this spell. He's could have had him caught at 3rd slip and mishook there, but again going safe.
Yes, he never got inside this at all. There's no control in the shot, which one of the few in the innings that he's played in that way. More of a top edge than anything.
And there's a shout there, a slower ball, and that got to be pretty close there.
Well, Yorker length this, obviously leg stump-ish, but umpire Palmer fairly sure that would have gone on down leg side. Don't think there's much argument about that.
50 for Salim Malik. He'll enjoy that. There's a little bit of byplay between him and Ian Botham early on, where Botham was wringing his hands in mock despair at the power with which Salim Malik was pushing the ball back at him. A classic stroke, Salim Malik.
Well, no question about this. For me, the shot of the day. Beautiful stroke. Foot right across to the pitch of the ball. And a lovely follow through there. A real cracking shot.
Graham Dilley is coming off the field and Mike Gatting is going to bowl. Well, the shout from out there rather indicates that that might have been put down on the leg side by Bruce French.
Yes, well, there was certainly no pad anywhere near it. So I think that might have been a little nick.
It might well have been a little nick, judging from the actions and reactions of the players. And what a triumph that would have been for Mike Gatting to bring himself on after Dilley had gone off the field and pick up that very important wicket. 131 to JAVED Miandad, 64 to Salim Malik, and they're within 5 runs of establishing a new 4th wicket record for Pakistan against England. 7 more runs were added to take Pakistan up to that 297 for 3, and the bowlers had to work very hard today. Botham, I thought, was the best, 2 for 71 in 22 overs and 4 maidens. Didn't seem to me to have a great deal of good fortune out there. The other wicket to Dilley, who came back well despite that injury he suffered, the unusual one when that pigeon flew across the pitch when he was in delivery stride. The spinners a little disappointing, some spin there for Embury before lunch, but it did disappear in the final 2 sessions. None for 69 for him and none for 50 for Philippe Edmonds. For JAVED Miandad, it was a great triumph. First century against England. He hit 5 against New Zealand. He's had 4 against Australia, 4 against India and 1 against Sri Lanka. But today, a really memorable moment for him, his first Test match century against England. Well, in the first over,